have cell phones, these are definitely trackable.
Right.
We sign with terms and services that we don't read all the time that give up certain rights. The data is making tons of money off of us. The DMVs sold it for tons of money, more than they make through the DMV, I believe, 1 year. And we agree to it, and we know it's happening, but we like to bitch about it. And until we we want our iPhones or our smartphones, so we will sign the dot. We want to sign up for a new app. But yeah, it's like Edward Snowden, was it on Vice? He did an interview recently where he talked about not only can your Wi-Fi router track you through your cell phone, but also your neighbor's Wi-Fi routers are able to track your cell phone. So they could definitely, just with that, know where you're at all times, unless you're in the middle of Buffalo, Egypt, you know?
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you there, Jay, where it's like, it's already being done, but when it comes to the forefront in the news, just like, I think the mentality is like freedom's first, where people are kind of adverse or think of worst case scenarios of what could happen. But when you look at places like Singapore, where those measures are in place and those worst case scenarios haven't happened, doesn't necessarily mean they just haven't happened yet. But at the same time, like, I don't think there's much concern for it going, kind of in a nefarious direction, or like people's lives are going to be impacted in a terrible way, anytime soon, or even, further down the line. So I don't know. I think, yeah, you're right. I think people just like to bitch about it, and they're worried about what could potentially happen, which I think, isn't always unfounded. People have to worry about, kind of what could happen or how your life could be negatively impacted. But, if there's no evidence of that happening, and it's saving lives in some cases now, then, sometimes you have to kind of give up some of those temporary freedoms for the benefit of society.
Well, and see, that's kind of what I was getting at was, yeah, I know, we all agree, and this is happening, this is going on, but there are those, they're just not telling us bluntly that this is what's going on, right? It took a whistleblower like Edward Snowden to tell us that they're surveilling us on every device at all the time. Whereas, where you're at, they're like, hey, fuckers, well, this is what we're doing. We're surveilling you, no whistleblower needed here. And this is what we're doing. And so I think it just gives people that doubt, right? Which makes them kind of freak out and develop all these conspiracies around it and what's going to happen in worst case scenarios. Whereas if they just, say, yeah, this is what we're doing. And, and then of course, obviously not do anything bad with that information. But I think people would be more apt to just kind of being okay with it, I guess.
Like if it's out in the, kind of like Singapore's doing, like out in the public, like I feel like Americans are a weird breed, especially 50% of America, well, we're all 100% Americans are a weird breed, but there is that like, don't tread on me, fuck you type vibe, which I definitely like, although I do think it gets a little overboard. But if they're like, hey, we're gonna put cameras up everywhere, you guys cool with that? This is for the betterment of society. We're gonna burn them down like they're burning down 5G things in London. It's like, so they know they have to be secretive and sneaky about it, and legally we're still terms of service. Click it. I've never read one of those. I couldn't probably get through it. It's so thick, But it's yeah, I don't think it would work here. I think it eventually will get there forcefully, but I think they have to be sly about it here.
Yeah, there's a good South Park episode on that if you haven't seen it, on reading the terms of service and the things that they're agreeing to.
On what?
On terms of service, like people keep blindly agreeing to them, and then just like terrible, they're agreeing to terrible things. I recommend checking that out.
Checking out what though? What show?
Oh, South Park. South Park.
Oh, they're always on top of it.
Yeah. Right. Fucked up stuff that you're agreeing to.
Hey, that's the universe, baby.
That's awesome, man. Crazy thing is, I got a phone call too. It was from an old friend. He's like, hey, I heard an old podcast we did together. It's not for you. Don't do it. Just stop. I'm fucking around.
I was just about to say, you better tell him, fuck you. But I also have some things to share. But dude, we'll just jump right into it. We'll start off with what the show's about, and then and then I'll just pass it directly on to you, and you can talk about how it's affected you, and then you talk for a little bit. You know, we'll just bounce off each other, and then I'll go, and then we'll go into like what's going on in the world and all this other bullshit.
Oh, cutting out.
Oh, fuck.
It's weird, like when you do DMT.
Dude, don't you ever just watch Fox though? Like, I mean, I don't ever watch Fox, but I look at like stuff on Twitter and stuff and like Instagram, like short videos. Like, I always think like, dude, there's got to be so many affairs. Like, dude, the women and men on there just seem so dirty. Like, they probably fucking each other all the time.
And I was like, oh shit, this shit real. Like, I wasn't prepared. I thought it was gonna be like, dude, but it's like, what? And I was just like, and then like, I was like, fuck, I gotta go next. I can't be a bitch. In the end, I was like, thank you for agreeing to have this threesome with me. You know? They're like, oh, fuck, leave my hand. You know, like, but I dragged it out forever. They had to keep playing with it. The teacher was like, keep going, keep going.
What's his name?
I don't remember.